So, Julia, you're getting facelifts while Martina's getting chemo, but you mad at Guerdy over a cruise and itinerary situation? Girl, bye.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I am Asia Esterak. All right, let's get into it. The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 7, Episode 3. Worst wedding ever. That's the name of the episode. Okay, so I'm not going scene by scene. We're going to jump to it. So Marysol marries her husband, Steve, this episode, and Alexia throws them like a wedding celebration dinner with their friends and family, which happens at the end of the episode. Can we talk about how Alexia chose the same place where her and Todd, I believe, got engaged? Girl. Okay, Alexia. Okay. So Alexia is actually at the venue with Frankie, and they're talking to the coordinator, and they start talking about Todd. It was really sad to hear Frankie talk about Todd. Like that was rough. And it makes me it makes me look at Alexia and go, you need to be careful who you bring around your child. You have a special needs child, and you know that he's going to be attached to whoever you're with. You need to be careful. It seems like nothing about Todd is real. That comment that she made last week, and then we find out in this episode, we actually found out last episode, but they reiterated in this one that he has 30 days to decide if he's going to divorce her or not. And she's just sitting around waiting. I'm with Larsa. Who sits around and waits to decide if your husband wants you or not? Very bizarre. Lisa is in Canada for her father's funeral. He ended up passing. Her talking about not being able to be with him one more time before he passed. Well, you were in Milan at a fashion show. So, and the way that you operate, we're going to be hearing about this shit for a few episodes, and it's going to annoy me. But you could have went and hung out with your dad, Lisa. You could have done that. So later on in the episode, Julia and Adriana meet at the same time that Kiki and Guerdy meet. So Julia and Adriana meet for lunch and sit down. Very interesting scene. Julia says to Adriana, you haven't called me at all this summer. Everyone's called me, but you haven't called me. How are you? And Adriana goes, well, you could have called me. I'm noticing a theme with Julia. She needs people to come to her versus her going to them. Julia, I really don't like you this season, and this episode pretty much solidified it for me. You're a fake ass bitch, which I've always thought. I don't think you're really a lesbian. I only think you only got with Martina for that money, baby. Because you got 2 kids by 2 different dudes, and you was a broke ass model, and you a broke ass bitch. I don't like you, and I'm gonna drag you every fucking episode. You completely showed your ass. I'm sorry, but that shit bothered me. I will be dragging you every chance that I can get. You are fake. Oh my God. Anyway, I digress. So intercutting with that scene, Kiki and Guerdy meet up at some like Pilates shit. I don't know. Anyway, they meet up, bullshit, so they can talk about the bullshit and highlight the business. So they meet up, and Kiki is telling Guerdy about the conversation that was had at the end of the last episode with Adriana and everybody and Julia. They were talking about her. I love you, Kiki, but you pissed me off this episode too. Here's my problem with this scene, because it was intercut with the 2 sets of ladies talking about the same issue. So Julia's talking about how Guerdy only wanted to be there for social media. She's talking about this whole issue in this cruise thing that they went on, and Martina couldn't make it, so she invited Guerdy, blah, blah, blah. Guerdy made it all about her. They keep calling Guerdy a producer. Guerdy, what do you do, Julia? Guerdy does shit. She has a business. Her business was in Forbes and Architectural Digest. What do you do? The fuck do you do? Besides this show and your wife, what do you do? Her anger is I don't know where her anger's coming from towards Guerdy, but it's misplaced and it's very obvious and it's giving jealousy a little bit. You mad? Why you mad? Are you mad, Julia? You mad? Anyway, so Guerdy is really confused as to why, and I totally get it. Why is Julia going to everybody but her about her issue with her? So Kiki's telling her like that basically everyone thinks that Guerdy is over the top and too much. And this is what bothered me. Guerdy basically in so many words Kiki in so many ways tells Guerdy, you're too much and you need to dial it down for these group of ladies. If you're my friend, you don't tell me to dial it down. You don't tell me to dumb down and dim my light for a group of bitches that ain't shit. Really? Really, Kiki? Really? Kiki, you've been around too many non-melanated people. You seem like you're conforming to the groups that you're in. I didn't like that at all. Check your fucking self. Anyway, that shit pissed me off. Because let's keep it real. The shit that Julia did at the end of this episode, if Guerdy had done that, the conversation would have went totally different. And the gaslighting and the microaggressions in that scene were whack as fuck too. I might have to skip to that scene in a minute. But anyway, so we're jumping around. Marysol and her husband end up getting married. It was really cute. They ride his motorcycle to the courthouse. And so they get married at the courthouse. They celebrate afterwards. It was cute. It was really sad because Marysol, she lost both her parents. So this is not even, and it's gonna drive me crazy. All right. She lost both her parents, and it's upsetting. And I think this is her third marriage. Steve seems like a cool dude. It's funny because later on in the episode at the party, they're showing pictures of Marysol's parents, like her and her brother. Steve looked just like Marysol's dad. It was kind of funny. Her brother was like, I don't see it. I see it. Baby, he even look a little bit like you, Marysol's brother. But that was a cute scene for them. So we briefly touch on Larsa for a minute. Her son is, very happy over the Milan fashion show. Larsa, of course, is still frustrated with Lisa and Jody. At this point, Larsa, let that shit go. Lisa has showed you who she is quite a few times. You've also showed her who you are. So at this point, who cares? Make better decisions with the men that you date. Just because somebody is related to a famous person doesn't mean they're legit. That would give me more cause for a pause, personally, based off how these celebrities be acting. The kids don't be much better. But all right. All right, so I want to skip to this party because it was a whole lot of leading up to this party. So anyway, we get to this party and everyone is there except for Lisa because she's in Canada for her dad's funeral. So the ladies are all at the table. This is what kills me. So Julia's been talking shit this whole time about Guerdy. Guerdy comes in. Guerdy, very respectful, says hello to everyone, says hi to Julia. They kiss Julia. Hi. If I don't like you, I'm not doing any of that shit. All the Cash Money shit you've been talking for these past 3 episodes, and you get up and you kiss her and say hi, girl, bye. Bye, you're fake as fuck, and it's giving scared and misplaced energy. Whatever, girl. So anyway, they're at the table. They're wondering why Lisa isn't there. Larsa, says that her father passed. So they're asking Larsa about how Milan went. Larsa starts going in on Jody, talks about she basically says, she explains why she was upset with the whole Lisa and Jody and Marcus Jordan shit. But Larsa did have a good point though. She's like, I've been friends with Lisa for 15 years. My loyalty is always going to be with her. No matter who she's with, even if I think they're cool, if you guys split up, I'm staying friends with Lisa and I'm not talking to you anymore. It makes sense to me. I get it. But at the same time, Larsa, Lisa, she claimed her stake. She chilling with Jody. She cool with Jody. Larsa talks about Jody's behavior in Milan, especially at the after party. And she said that at one point he was like, he got very controlling, didn't want Lisa to talk to her. She talked about how his eyes were bulging and they show a picture. It's giving cocaine. Listen, baby, he on that motherfucking, what do they call it? Christina? Is that what they call it? Is that what the kids call it? He's on that fine china, baby. That fine china. He over there. What is it? Everybody in the comments had me dying. Homeboy is ski sloping. He's ski sloping with Michael Jordan's son. Ski sloping. She also talks about how she thinks Jody is an opportunist and he just wants Lisa's money. I 100,000 million% agree. Jody gives me opportunistic energy times 10. And like I said in my last episode, I think he likes penis the way I do. And also, I don't know if you guys caught this. This was in the first episode. You know how on the housewife shows, they'll do like quick clips of everybody before going to like someone's like actual scene? Like a couple transition scenes, right? There was a scene, I think it was the first episode, where they're at their house. It's him, Lisa, and her kids. And her son makes a comment. He's like, I have a speech. I'm British. You know, cute little kid shit. And Jody was like, what does he say? Something like that was the most annoying speech ever, or that was annoying or something. Whatever it was a negative response to her son. That to me was a huge red flag. Very weird. And the vibe I got from that little clip was that he's annoyed with them kids. Listen, homeboy there for the money, the camera, and any free peen he could get. I don't know. Lisa, I think Lisa just can't be alone. And she chose him because he's nice to her. And I think he's nice to her for other reasons other than just being nice to her. That's just the vibe that I get. So anyway, Alexia does say in her confessional that she felt like Larsa shouldn't have brought this up at the table. True. Yeah. But we're here, and she got asked about Milan. And have you ever known Larsa to fucking edit herself? No. So it is what it is. So anyway, at one point, Julia gets up. And so they start talking about Marysol and Steve, and then Julia gets up very out of nowhere. Oh, you know, these two, there's a toast, and we want to do a toast. And she's over there with them, and Marysol is kissing her husband, and they're kissing each other. You know, Julia in between them. I love it when those two kiss. I love it. It was very strange. Very weird. So Guerdy's at the table like, oh, okay. So Guerdy says to the other ladies on the other side of the table, she's mainly leaning into Larsa and Alexia, and I can't remember Marysol, but she was up with Julia and them over there, over on the other side. But Guerdy's like, you know, she's mad at me, this energy between her and Martina. So Julia comes over, hears this, baby, the shit gets started. So Julia's coming at her, like yelling at her, you know, you were just there, you're not a real friend. You were just there for, what did she say? You were just there for social media and the cameras. So they're showing little clips of the event. Julia, you in every photo with her. You're in every photo with her. So then Julia's like, Guerdy goes, first of all, let me explain what happened. So she explains. So basically it was like some celebrity cruise shit, whatever. Guerdy had already went. It was a 3-day thing. She went the first day. She said the first event Julia couldn't go to. She went to the second event with her husband. I may be wrong about that. But either way, she went to an event with her husband. She gets home. Julia calls her freaking out. She said something happened to Martina. Can you come on the cruise with me? And Guerdy's like, I'm home. I'm unpacking. But Guerdy's like, me being the good friend, I'm going to go. And she asks what's wrong with Martina. And Julia tells Guerdy, I'll tell you on the boat. So Julia flips out over that, mad as hell. I couldn't tell who was lying there. But I'm going to go off, based off of Julia's responses to Guerdy, baby, you are lying. Julia, you're the lady doth protest too much. You protesting too much, homegirl. You protesting too much. Because I feel like, Guerdy, why would Guerdy have to lie? Why would she have to lie about anything? So then at one point, Julia's like, well, you only wanted to come because Captain Sandy was there. And Guerdy's like, we took pictures with her. What are you talking about? And in the picture, Julia's in the picture with them. And here's the reality. They're all co-stars. They're all Bravo celebrities. They're on the same network. They all get invited to the same shit. What's the issue with it? Here's my problem. Julia, you went. You were there. So were you there for an opportunity too? Or was it just, or do those rules only apply to Guerdy and not you? So Guerdy is like, they get up. Julia is in her face. Imagine if Guerdy had done the shit that Julia is doing. Imagine. Fucking imagine. Right? She would have been the angry black woman, right? Angry black lady? You the angry white lady on the show. You were the angry Karen. You would have been an angry white lady in this episode. You were the Karen. Absolutely, Julia. So, and here's my thing. If Guerdy had knocked your fucking teeth out the way you were coming at her and all in her personal space, it would have been totally cool. It would have been fine. Right? Right? Because if she had done that to you, it would have been a whole thing, right? So they go back and Kiki is getting up trying to separate them. Kiki, you pissed me off. You really pissed me off in this scene. You pissed me off this whole episode, actually. So they sit back down at the table. So Guerdy's like, here's the real issue. You're mad at me because you were over in New York getting a facelift while your wife was getting chemo. And that's not true. You're a liar. Martina had a cancer situation. Okay, so if all that's true, Julia, if all of that is true, then why would you even still continue to go on that event on the cruise ship? If your wife was having cancer issues, according to fucking you, then why would you still go? But instead you invite your homegirl, and I guess you didn't like that your homegirl was probably getting a little bit more attention than your stupid ass was, so you got mad. Julia, you're fake. You're fake. And calling Guerdy all those names at the table, because she was calling your ass out, is very obvious that what Guerdy was saying about you was true. Because the more shit that she was saying, the more angrier and louder and ridiculous you got. Standing over her, pointing, doing all that. And what's funny is when Guerdy threw out that Martina facelift line and Martina getting chemo, this bitch took her drink and threw it at her. Again, if Guerdy had beat your ass at that party, she would have been well within her reason to do so. Julia, you were doing way too much. And it really bothers me because no one was taking up for Guerdy, really. Kiki, you're over here trying to remove her from the party like Kiki was, or like Guerdy was the problem. Guerdy didn't start that shit. Homegirl did. Homegirl was the one that got hyped first. No matter who brought it up, she's the one that got hyped. And you did that at your friend's wedding celebration party too. Like, Julia, you're ghetto and ratchet as fuck. Ratchet as fuck. Ratchet is not exclusive to anybody particularly. If you act like an asshole, you're a fucking ratchet. I like that Guerdy said to Kiki, like, why are you trying to remove me? I'm not that person. I was with it. Kiki, really? Julia, I think you cheat on your wife. And I'm going to go back to what Larsa said when the show first came back. And she was like, I didn't even know you liked women. I thought you liked black guys. You were making out with a guy at a bar. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Larsa, but I'll say this. Larsa be spraying people with their... Listen, she's nasty about it, but I don't think she's lying. I never got that Julia really liked Martina. That lady is there for a check. And to be taken, and for her kids to be taken care of. I don't know. This episode bugged me. And once again, it's the same shit in the first season when the show came back, when they jumped on Guerdy then. I feel like they're always coming at Guerdy. And despite how you may feel about her, Guerdy's never done anything to anybody on this show. I don't find her, she's non-problematic. Completely. Julia, your anger is misplaced. I don't know where it's coming from. You already told on yourself a few times, especially in that scene with Adriana. It seems to be all about you. You need it to be all about you. And it just seems like the reality is you were mad that Guerdy got a little bit more clout and a little bit more, not clout, but a little bit more attention than you did. And you wanted to deflect. If your wife is having a cancer situation, you don't take your stupid ass on a fucking event, especially on a cruise. You go and be with your wife. That shit irritated me. Anyway, that was the end of this episode. It's clear that the shit is not going to be over with. Next week, we get with Lisa and the Larsa bullshit. Julia, Anyway, it's Thursday. That shit annoyed me. Good episode. We're in the 3rd episode and we're doing some things. This is going to be a good season. It's pretty good so far. Anyway, it's Thursday. It's hot as shit. Drink water, stay hydrated, and be nice to each other.